Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the YouTube version of Renegade Radio. This is Frankie Slauson here, and we are here for season two, episode five already. Can you believe that? Episode five already of season two. We survived the month of January, and now we're in the month of love, the month of February. How exciting of a month January was, and I believe this month will be even more exciting because we got some really cool guests coming up on the show. Tonight's guests will be joined by uh, members of the Sam Morrison Band, the lead singer Sam Morrison, and the lead drummer Bart Robley, and that should be exciting. This is the part of the show where it's like the pre-show before everything all happens, and we get it all ready. And I just figured, well, just like I did last time, I'm gonna start probably doing this more. Just get on here before everybody else jumps on and starts and whatnot. So we'll get the crew back tonight. Last week we had a requested episode, since we did the Dick Warlock interview and Lance Warlock interview, and Michael Strider was with us as well. Uh, I chose John Roberts as my co-host, and it turned out to be pretty well. Worked out very well, actually. So now this week, things get back to normal. We get our crew back together to kick off February, and tonight's guest, like I said, is Sam Morrison and Bart Robley. I've known those guys for almost 10 years. Started out listening to their music back when I was doing rapid fire radio with a Red Rider back in Rapid City, South Dakota. And he interviewed Sam back in January of 2015, and then fast forward that year, that summer, about June or July, they had an event where they were coming to town or coming to Deadwood to do a show, and we got free tickets to the event, and we had a good time. I got to meet Sam and got to do my 200th interview at that time with the entire band and crew that was there at the time in their tour bus. That was the first time I ever interviewed somebody in their tour bus. And then eventually I would do that a few more times. Anyway, so it's been a long time since they've been on the show. I figure let's do a Zoom call. Let's see what they've been up to after all this time, and get them on the show. And I think it'll be great for the crew. I think the crew will enjoy it as well. I hope they do anyway. Next week we got Becca's return to the radio show or to Renegade Radio. Well, first time on Renegade Radio, but I've interviewed him before. Host of the Sirius XM channel of Bluesville, channel 74, Mr. Early Times. And we're also going to get the guy who helped create his guitar, Michael Delaney of Delaney Guitars, will be joining us as well. So that'll be fun. And then 2 weeks from now, we will have uh, the return of Vincent Barry, who is the wrestling author. He wrote a book about Black Bart, and I think he's going to get us Black Bart to come back because I felt bad. We had him on and we only gave him a half an hour. This time we're going to let him have the whole. We'll give him at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half if we need to, because I love talking wrestling and whatnot. So he'll be our guest for the President's Day episode, and then I'm not too sure what's in store yet for the 26th episode, but we'll figure that out as we get closer. I have some people in mind that might be interested in doing it, or if we don't have anybody and if nobody can get a guest, we may just do a normal show. Tonight's show is going to be a normal show, but then at last minute I thought, well, let's see if we can get some people on to kick off the month. So and that's kind of how it goes sometimes. It's not always the. I know sometimes it gets old, doing the same old, but it's like, okay, needs a code. So I just figured before everybody else got on that I would be the first to welcome you guys to the show like I did last time. You'll see this on this version of the show, well, more than you will the other version because the other version is more the live version when I when I set everything and everything goes live as far as the show goes. But I'll probably set that up here now as we're getting ready for everybody showing up. Oh, let's see here. So don't mind me. We're just I'm just getting things ready, getting the show ready, getting everything ready for us here. What's out of here first? So far, I'm the first one. Yay! Who will be the next one to come? Who will be the first one on the crew to join us? Here, share, here. Hey, what's going on, everybody that's on Facebook right now? I'm your host with the most, Frankie Slauson, and welcome to episode number 5 of season 2 of Renegade Radio. And I'm just waiting on my crew here. Tonight we got a very, very special episode for you guys as we kick off February here. We have the Sam Morrison Band. We have 2 members of the Sam Morrison Band. We got Sam Morrison, and we got Bart Robley coming up, so that'll be fun. That should be. There you go. Hopefully nobody's having any trouble trying to get in here because they shouldn't. Look at that. All right, let's share this around a little bit. Share our live stream around. Everybody to listen. Bart Robley, hey Sean, I'll be getting on right at 4:30. I'm sure that I'll be sure up on. Woo. Yeah, sounds good. All right, how you guys doing out there in Facebook land, huh? Antique Man is about to enter the building. All right, that's good. That's what we want. We want Antique Man on the show. I felt bad too because last week, or 2 weeks ago, I accidentally booted you off, and I was trying to, I was trying to get boot off Don Stroud or Michael Strider, but it jumped or whatever, and I hit the wrong thing, and it's just like, what the hell? And I don't know why it blocks people like from coming back in when they do that. I wasn't, I don't understand that. I don't know how to unblock that, but maybe there's a way. But it's a new episode today, so we'll try not to make that mistake again. I'll just try to let the guests leave on their own power now. See, so right now I'm just here by myself. I'm just waiting for everybody to show up. Normally everybody's here by now, but I'm sure it's like, trying to get people back into the routine of things. Because like I said, I felt bad enough as it is that I was only stuck with picking one person, to be a part of the show last week. But it was a special request, and hopefully that never has to happen again. I was honored to do the interview with Dick and honored to do the interview with Lance and everything and make their requests happen. But it's like, it's my show. I should be able to dictate what I want and everything. But I get it. I guess it's no use really trying to explain everything because it happened. It's already done. It was a good interview. You go check that out if you want from last week's show, the interview with Dick Warlock. Yay! Everybody's coming in. Antique Man and Mad Dog and everybody. Now we're just waiting for John and the other John. They should be here.
The other John. Hi.
It's the John. Hey, it's a freaking takeoff. It's a freaking. Has their phone. It's a freaking.
Freaking Jagoff.
Yeah, friggin' Jagoff. Yeah.
You don't know what a Jagoff is? That's a Pittsburgh word.
Yeah. Is that just another word for jackoff, or is it just
No, it's like if I didn't like you, I'd call you a Jagoff.
Oh, I think you called me that.
That's like prick or anything else.
Oh, good old prick.
It's in the dictionary now. They made it an illegal. They made it a legal word.
Ah, okay. Maybe you need to teach us some Pittsburgh language.
You couldn't understand Pittsburghese, buddy.
That's okay.
Or,
I don't
even
Minnesota language. And I've been here all my life.
I talk on my phone and it don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say to it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get my background in check here.
Yeah, I'm glad everybody. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hopefully, it wasn't too hard to do research on everybody because these guys.
I didn't do any because it didn't really have much of a research. It just there was no like briefing on it. It just had their music and that.
Well, then I would suggest, if we ever have the next time we have a musician on, which we will next week, just listen to some songs. That's the easiest.
That's what I did. I listened to the music for about a half hour.
Yeah.
It's Southern rock or Southern country, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it puts out a good song. I liked them.
Oh,
Hold
yes,
on.
she's not going to endorse anybody.
Laura, John.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Laura.
No.
Oh,
Did your wife
Where's
get you on
Audio?
Johnny Poo?
maybe. What's it to you? I can't. Where's the deal? There it is.
Oh, here. Oh, so you don't have to deal with that there. Now you shouldn't have
Okay.
to deal with that.
So it's this one here, right?
Don't leave.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get volume
Where are you? Should be
You
down
got
there.
volume.
down here.
Mhm. Hit that one.
This one.
No, the little triangle. There. Hit that one.
We hear you. He got the hearing part shut off.
There we go.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Hi, fellas.
I'm just talking to her.
Hey, what's up?
Real quick here. I'm just
I
talking to her.
thought you heard us. I wasn't sure.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you. I'm hearing you loud and clear there, pilot. We're just waiting for your brother, but we'll probably start here in a couple minutes here. Not 6 yet. I got the live stream going already, so I'll share that here with all y'all. Sand here.
Oh man.
I got a brand new keyboard just recently I bought, so I'm getting used to this new keyboard. It's pretty interesting for my computer.
Yeah, well, I hope to get my iPad up and going because this phone's killing me.
Is it being a jagoff?
It's too small, I mean, like I can barely see that. I got to strain my old bad eyesight.
Oh. Or you said you're gonna have Chinese vision here.
Well, I'm on my wife's laptop in her office. That's what I use. And then,
Oh, so you use a laptop? Okay, I always thought you just had a desktop.
yeah, otherwise I have a laptop, but I use it only for racing. I'm going to race at the racetracks and that's it. So otherwise I don't, except for work, then it's all, big stuff, but
I don't use one. I don't even like using this friggin' phone if I don't have to. I'm a simple
no,
man.
I don't either.
Rolodex.
Yep.
You're a simple man. Maybe we should
I'm
write
a
song
freaking
about you.
jag off.
You're a freaking jagoff. That should be your song, yeah. Says Simple Man by Leonard Skinner be I'm a freaking jagoff. How's it going, John Roberts?
I got my new
It's
little knife
going
today.
okay. We got my last hockey game of the year tomorrow night.
Okay.
So that's coming to a halt. I
Good.
don't know what had a string of like 3 funerals last week. Yeah, it was
Good.
kind of weird week,
Yeah, that's what you were saying last week. I mean,
but
what did you think of the interview last week? I know you said you don't go back and watch anything, but I mean, from your experience now,
it was fun.
good?
It was
Did you
fun.
enjoy it? Yeah.
I thought it was. Don't you?
Oh, I of course. I just wanted your opinion because I really
Yeah.
haven't talked to you much after that. So
Yeah, I
I always like to ask
it
people.
was a lot of fun.
Okay. Well, look, it is. It's Screaming Sam.
It was a lot of fun. You need
The
help with
ghost of
that?
Screaming Sam here.
Wait, but- out.
There he is.
Yeah, how's it going, man?
Good.
Long time no see. I tell you this before we get the show started, I'm going to say how weird it felt without everybody here. Trust me, if I would have had, if I would have done things differently, I probably would have just said, "Hey, everybody's invited." So hopefully we would never have to do that again because I hate
Where's Mama Leone at?
she might make it. She was telling me she's getting a different phone, and so we'll see. If she doesn't make it on this week, then for sure she'll probably make it on next week because next week's guest is very special, and I think her hubby or her boyfriend Bobby will want to be a part of that too next week because we're doing an interview with her Early Times. You guys know who Early Times is at all?
Yeah, yeah.
Satellite radio guy
Probably
from
nuts.
Louisville. Yeah. So he'll be on. And then there's a guy who made his guitar because he's also a singer as well. Michael Delaney from Delaney Guitars also will be on the show.
Oh,
So it'll be like a little collab kind of.
where's
And he's from Texas.
Delaney Guitars out of?
Texas.
Do you know?
Texas.
Texas?
Eric State.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Early is from New York.
Because he's never heard of him. He must make ukuleles.
No, they make guitars. Like even Walter Trout has used his guitar before. Everybody know Walter Trout?
Yeah. I've seen him. I've seen Walter Trout probably a dozen times. We used to party with him all the time. In my opinion, one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen almost all of them.
I still say Joe.
We partied with his bass player more than that. Walter doesn't party much, but he's incredible.
Yeah, I've had him on before. It's just hard to get him on lately. It seems like because he's just so busy, and now so some people don't want to do interviews unless they're in the area, which is understandable, I guess, because they got stuff to promote or whatever. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get the show started, and we'll just kind of go into it. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another great edition of Renegade Radio, Season 2, Episode 5. Can you believe it? Episode number 5 already. We had a pretty good month of January. Did you like January? Was it good for you?
Yes.
Make you happy?
Yeah. Yes.
Did you cream all over yourself with all the
Heck
guests
yeah.
that you had, like a donut? Anyway, I was very happy that everything worked out. We didn't have to really change anything, and everybody was pretty cool. All the guests that we've had, I think we set a record too. I think we had about 7 or 8 guests on last month. Is that too much?
Yeah. Well, it's like we had 2 every time.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, hey, I'm just glad that we got to do it. But anyway, I'm your host with the most, Frankie Slauson, joined by Mad Dog, Antique Man,
Greetings.
John Roberts, and legendary Screaming Sam. It feels nice to get the band back together. It feels like we haven't seen each other in like 50 years. It's been that long.
Yeah, it ain't been long enough.
Yeah, I feel like a
Oh,
freaking
boy.
jag off, I tell you.
Here it comes.
Well, in the month of
Here
February,
it
we're all gonna
comes.
feel like we're all gonna feel like freaking jagoffs here in the month of February because we got a lot of stuff going on this month. I got some special stuff planned for all y'all because you know this is the fun thing we got going. People have been talking, people have been wanting to know what's going on. I've been getting a lot of people asking me at the casino lately about the podcast and everything. So I figured, hey,
Great.
I think we got something good. So let's make the month of February just as good as we did for January. Tonight we have two guests on, but they're gonna be on around the same time, so it's not like one after the other because they do the same thing. They work together. They have been for the last probably 30 years or so. It's called the Sam Morrison Band, and I had no clue that these guys were actually in Devil's Lake not too long ago. If I would have known that, I probably would have went to the show. I had no clue.
I would have.
Yeah,
I would have for sure.
I just found that out like a few weeks ago, and I'm just like, what the hell? Because I could have surprised them, and they would have treated me very good because we have history from back in the day, from my South Dakota days, and so it's lead singer Sam Morrison and the drummer Bart Robley. They're gonna be both on about 6:30. They're from California, uh, so it's gonna be about 4:30 their time when they call. Uh, they also do a Bob Seger tribute. I don't know any Bob Seger fans out here in our
I'm a
crew?
Bob
Yeah.
Seager.
Yeah.
Love Bob.
Huge.
Well, they do a tribute called "Turn the Page," tribute to Bob Seger. So it depends on what the promoters want. Either they'll do their original Sam Morrison stuff, or they'll do the tributes to Bob Seger. The last time when I seen them live, it was in Deadwood, South Dakota, at the Denver Mountain Grand, and it was in June, either June or July of 2015, and I did my 200th interview in their van, or not van, in their tour bus. That's on YouTube, that video. And they treated myself and my friend Reb very well when we were doing Rapid Fire Radio because we had them on our show before that, and they liked us so much, so they gave us free tickets and backstage passes, blah 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 blah, and good seats, and it was fun. It was a good time. But then they were doing their Bob Seger stuff, so they couldn't do any of their original material like the song Whiskey and I Got a Ride and all that stuff that Eric knows and everything. Erica, what did you ever hear about Sam Morrison? Antique Man.
I'd actually heard of them about 3 years ago for the first time, and then kind of lost track of it. And then I listened to some of their music again today.
Okay. I was surprised when you shared the song Whiskey because that's a well-known song.
Yes.
One thing I will say that what I liked about these guys is that some of you don't know, but Sam knows, and I don't know how much you guys know from because I think when I mentioned about this, you guys none of you guys else were on the crew yet, but I put together a small little documentary back in about 2015, 2016 about with my friend Reb, and we were because he was a biker guy and he lived the biker lifestyle. He was in charge of his own chapter called the Ride or Die Brotherhood, and I always thought, well, it would be kind of fun to try doing something with video, try to do like a little documentary because in South Dakota, especially Rapid City, they have a lot of people who have done film and television stuff and music and all types of stuff and I thought maybe we could make it so exciting where it's like we're like like they invite us to be part of their festival some year or whatever, like the film festival or whatever, Black Hills, but it never happened. But we did the documentary is on
Right.
YouTube. It's called the Ride or Die Brotherhood. Pretty much the documentary. It's like a 20 or like a 15-minute documentary. Anyway, but Sam Morrison helped do a lot of the music. He let me use his music, and then he wrote some original music for the documentary, which I thought was really cool. And I think I still have the music on on the messenger anyway that he sent me from back in the day, and it had like the whole premise of it was like trying to prove that not all gangs and not all biker clubs are either clubs or like at that time Sons of Anarchy was like the biggest show, and people always thought they got the wrong impression of how bikers really are by that show. And I want to prove that not all biker clubs or no clubs are like that. I mean, this one was kind of a mix, but they do other things that the show never talked about, like do stuff with charity and whatnot. They do a lot of charity rides, they do a lot of sponsorships, they do a lot of nonprofit stuff or whatever. So I was trying to
Biker clubs
show,
probably raise more money for charity than any other organization does. I'm not kidding you.
yeah, and that was the
They
whole
raise
point
a
of what we
ton
were
of
trying to
money.
show. So yeah, I mean, I really, that was the whole point of why I wanted to do this. Now the documentary, the quality is kind of shitty. It's not that great, but I had a friend edit it together the best that he could, and I think we still made some beautiful footage anyway. For the time that it took to do it. But Sam helped with the music, so if you ever want to check that out, it's on YouTube, on the Frank Sauce Show YouTube channel. But anyway, so yeah, so that's our guest for tonight, and then next week we have from Sirius Satellite Radio and the channel of Bluesville, Mr. Early Times. He'll be coming on next week, and he had a guitar made especially for him from a group or a company called Delaney Guitars out of Texas. And these guys have worked with a lot of great, well-known entertainers like Samantha Fish and Walter Trout, and I think even what's that guy, John Mayall, I believe too. He
Oh.
because he knows, he works with Walter all the time. They always do stuff together.
You're
for-
talking
for
some
their
serious
record.
guitar players there, Sean.
Oh,
You
absolutely,
just
absolutely.
you
Hey,
named a whole bear. Some
I
serious business going on there, boy.
I know my music. I might not look like I do. I might look like I get high every day, but hey, no, this is me. I know I'm a knowledgeable son of a bitch sometimes.
What's wrong with that? I get high every day.
Yeah, because you're a freaking
Oh.
nigga.
Hey, it's legal.
I get high now.
Well, you guys, hey, you should have been. It's too bad you guys weren't on last week's show because it would have taken some of the pressure off me. He's giving me crap because I was drinking beer on the show. Like, come on, dude.
It was fine. I wasn't trying to roast you. I was just trying to make the interview kind of fun because it had some dull moments, I guess, a few. And then when Michael Snyder came on, it kind of took I hate to say it because I love Michael. I know he's probably watching and everything because he's a big supporter of the show. But it kind of took the pressure off all of both of us because that made it seem like it was all about those guys or they were pretty much taking over the interview, and I didn't really get a chance to ask many questions until later. And I'm glad you got to participate anyway, because I felt pretty
fun.
good that you
It
got
was
to
fun.
do that. Yeah, so
Yeah, it was a good time.
I don't
It
know.
was a
I
good
wa-
time. I just had to give you a hard time.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I
I'm
can
like,
accept it. I was a freaking jagoff. That's what I was. That's the theme of the show.
I wasn't
Right.
invited, so I don't know how fun it was.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Antique Man
Wish
told me
I
what
had
he
one
really thought
right
about
now.
it too. So it's like he
There
told
you
me.
go, buddy. You
It
see
was a
that?
good show. I listened to all of it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. I mean, the only person I haven't heard from is Screaming Sam. What do you think of it there? You haven't said a whole lot yet.
It's long. That's and
That long is good. Long and hard, right?
it was long. It was long.
I can't do long anymore. I'm no more long for me. I'm done.
Yeah.
That was way too long.
Oh, well, every time we've had Lance on, the show goes like 2.5 hours. I've noticed that because it did that the last time when he was on. So,
And
no,
you put that guy on that other guy, and well, you couldn't see his face. And actually, the show was all about the last show when he was on. It was all the same stuff. Like he talked about the same stuff, and he wouldn't let anybody else talk. I mean, he's a good guy. I love him, but
Yeah.
you got to give someone a break, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, you might
eventually-
as well have us on the show if he was,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as he
Well,
talked.
that's why I say I felt bad because it's like, I didn't want to do that to you guys, because you're my crew and everything. It's like I feel like I was just like
Sean, I have a tough time hearing you. I don't know what it is, just you.
just me. Is it my camera
I can hear
audio?
everybody else.
Oh, well, I'm
You
right
can hear
here.
you better when you're closer, Sean.
Oh, hello.
No, we don't want that close. Jesus Christ. You'll scare the
Right?
guests.
Where is he? Where is he? Right there.
Looks like a bad cancer.
Oh, don't be a friggin' jagoff now. Come on now. I'll try to get closer here.
You like my shirt, Joe?
Yeah.
I do.
How about now? Can you hear me good, Sam?
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, but it's a tough time hearing you. I guess I hear everybody out pretty good, but it's hard hearing you. I was going to go back and get back in because I thought it was just maybe the whole thing. But whenever John talks or Tony's a little bit low, but Eric talks, everything's good.
Okay. Well, let me see if it's just a setting. So while I'm trying to
I
figure
know
out
I'm loud.
while
My
I'm
wife
trying to
tells
figure
me
out
all the time, you don't have to yell.
Well, while I'm trying to
just-
figure out my microphone setting here, why don't
Someone
you
else has said, "Turn it up, Sean."
turn it up? All right. Well, let me figure it out here. I think I figured out what's going on. How about now? Is that better? Can you hear me now? Better?
Sound
No?
the same to me.
Yeah, it sounds the same.
Well, somebody say something, and then so we keep the show going while I'm trying to get all this stuff going.
Check
here.
1, 2, 3. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it's 50 degrees in Pittsburgh, -3 to a 50-degree day.
No kidding. We're flirting with the 40. We were pushing 50 the other day. We've been in the 40s. We hardly have any snow here now. It's just frozen water everywhere. And it thaws out for an hour and then it freezes again. But it still beats. Last year at this time, we had probably 4 feet of snow on the ground at my house.
Jeez,
And my
that's what-
tree line had at least 12 feet deep.
Wow. That's
That's
crazy.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you can.
There's going to be a lot of deer, a lot of turkeys. There's going to be a lot of critters around this next year because it's going to be a nice, easy winter for them.
How about now? You guys hear me
Yeah,
good?
that's good.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're
Yeah,
way
mine was-
louder now.
my volume was low. I don't know what the hell was going on. I must have
Sounds
Much
way
better.
set it wrong or something, but it was at 8 and now I set it to 100. So I don't know.
Sam thought he was going deaf.
yeah. Let's just start talking in sign language.
Hey,
Huh? Anyway, so hopefully that's better now because I really don't want to talk way too close because I'm sure that's probably going
That's
to
better.
that is way. Yeah.
I'm kind of farther away from it now, so it's like. But the thing is, I wish I could just get it so it could just like look right at me, straight at the camera instead of like looking at the side here. But I don't know. It is what it is. So yeah. As far as anything else goes for the future episodes, we're going to get Vincent Barry back in 2 weeks. I felt bad for only giving him a half an hour of time when he's going to actually come back and talk about his book about Black Bart, and he's going to bring us Black Bart. So
Great.
exciting. So that's the rest of Black Bart. And then for the 26th episode, don't have anything planned yet. So we're just kind of going by these next couple weeks here and see how that goes, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm just glad that we're getting the crew back together. This show has really been taking off since its inception, and now already being in the second month of freaking February already, or the second month of 2024. Do you guys know? I'm sure most of you are up on your musical history, but did you all know that it was 65 years now since the death of Buddy Holly, Big Bopper, and Richie Valens? Can you
Yeah,
believe
you
that?
reminded us.
So the music
That
died.
was me all day today. They're actually
Somebody
talking,
asked you. What?
they're actually talking to the girl who, what's his name? Richie Valens wrote that song about.
Oh, Donna?
Donna, and he sang it to her, and she was in school. He wrecked when he wrecked the plane, and when they told her, and she was in. They interviewed her today, and he's probably glad he's dead because that's one ugly woman.
No.
I don't want to.
That's not what you're supposed to say.
That there might be.
Wow.
I said, someone beat you to it. Oh, yeah.
I guess so.
You
Jesus.
make an ugly man.
I guess so. Man.
Dawn, I think it's Dawn E. I didn't know what the fuck he was singing about.
Hey, Donald.
That's funny. That is funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he was on. They were on their way to Fargo. And it's kind of funny because I was looking at the map of kind of their tour or their last tour that they did before it happened, and they came to Minnesota like once or whatever before they went to Iowa and everything. They had a weird ass schedule back in those days as far as like how the bus was going to go and where they
Yeah.
were. I don't know why they chose all these cold areas. Yes, it was a winter party, but man, I don't know. Makes me wonder sometimes if I could go back in time and warn everybody. Hey, something's going to happen. You don't want to go on that
Hey,
plane.
no, Rex, stay away from Donna.
Well, it has nothing to do with
You know,
Donna.
you know
If
why they
I
did
could
that back
turn
then,
back
Sean?
time.
Because oh boy, yeah. You know why they did that back then? It was so cold. There was nothing else to do back then. There was none of this social media crap. It was the middle of winter. It's cold out. There was nothing to go out and do. When they'd have an event like this, you knew it was going to be a packed house. No matter
Sure.
where it was in the Midwest, no matter what the weather was like, these kids were going to get there because there was absolutely nothing else for them to go do. And so that's why that tour was so successful. And I mean, back in the day up here, my mom and dad met, it was either the Everly brothers or Roy Orbison at Maple Lake Pavilion. I mean, back then up here, that was a regular stop for these huge, back in the 50s and 60s, all of those guys were up here. So yeah, it was pretty common for them to come up here, especially in the winter.
But you would figure that these guys would be smart enough. Like, wouldn't there be like any hotels they could book, or motels at the time? I guess we're talking 1959, so it's like you would figure you just say, no, we can't do this. This is we're gonna have to postpone it or something because it's like the bus is frozen. Yeah, there might not be nothing to do, but back in the day, you could easily find something to do. Just, stay in the freaking hotel or stay at the ballroom or whatever overnight if you had to. And just come drive the next day. I don't know.
Yeah, well, another thing their problem was too, they always tried to get for sure 2 and possibly 3 gigs out of a weekend because the traveling wasn't as easy as it is now. And
Yeah.
and so that's why they would try to press that extra day in there just to give them a little bit more of a sleep time. But yeah, it's just tragic. It's you know,
It just makes me kind of wonder too. It's like I watch enough documentaries and enough stuff, to kind of put as many pieces of this puzzle together, and it's still I'm still clueless. It's like because they were talking about how they found like a gun and stuff, and they thought it was Buddy Holly's gun, or they thought maybe he shot somebody, and blah 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 blah. And it was, I don't know. It just, it's just a fucked up deal, Because what could have been,
well, they weren't even in the air like 10, 12 minutes.
Uh,
And the way that thing pretty much nosedived straight into the ground. So I was in a plane crash. They figured out we were going close to 120 miles an hour. And when I hit the ground, and it was about 4 to 5 feet deep snow, and we went about 100 feet. If you look at Buddy Holly's wreckage, it was just like, pow, right there. It was
yeah,
all right there, so a little
yeah.
different.
It's just crazy times, I guess. When you think about 65 years and now, there's people who had birthdays on that day that turned 65. We're just babies. We're just born. And it's just like,
I'm a year old.
yeah. So, I mean, even though you're a little kid, I'm sure your parents, were Buddy Holly fans, I'm sure, back in the day. Everybody seemed to be.
The only thing I remember back in the days when Kennedy got shot, I was like 5 years old or something. I remember when that happened, watching my mom and dad's TV, them crying, my mom crying and stuff like that. And that's one event the only event I really remember back in the day.
I remember the day Roberto Clemente went down in the plane.
Yeah, I
wreck.
remember that too.
That was a bad time for Pittsburghers.
Well, in 65, I was 13 and I saw the Beatles in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow.
So, something positive.
Wow.
$5.50, including the tax.
Jeez.
What month was it? What month was it? 1965.
August, Shea Stadium.
That's
Jeez.
awesome.
I was 6 months old.
What was a young guy like you, Antique Man? What was a young guy like Antique Man doing in frickin' Shea Stadium then? I mean, what brought you? Like, obviously the Beatles you want to see, but what were you doing over there at the time?
I was with my parents and they were visiting some friends, and the friends had two daughters. One was a little older than me, and unfortunately for her, her parents said, "We have an extra ticket. Take Eric."
Take
Lucky
it.
Eric.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well,
I
I'm
still
sure.
have the ticket stub.
Okay.
That's
The
cool.
cool part is you're still talking about it. That's the cool part about it. You
Thank
know,
you. Yeah, that
that
is
was a
cool.
long time ago, man.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Amazing.
backstroke dad's nutsack. I was
See. Yeah, I always
That had a
yeah.
lot of influence on me in music.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure, and I'm sure your roots also, was Buddy Holly an influence too eventually, or
Sure.
Roy Orbison. I love Del Shannon. Del
Roy.
Shannon's my guy. That's a guy you talk about underrated. Yeah, okay, he had a couple hits on the radio, but you realize how much music he's done in his career. He and Greg
Yes.
Malone have done together lots of stuff. Not together, but like there's. I'm so sick and tired of DJs. I talk about just the hits all the time, and I could have this conversation for a long, long time. But it's like when somebody has a catalog so big and they only get one song or two songs played on the radio, that's pretty fucked up. It's like, what's wrong with the other songs? Why can't we hear those songs? Why do we have to hear the same song? The guy's
Yeah.
dead. What difference does it make? Oh, it's royalties. We
All
gotta
this.
make money. You gotta make money. It's like, oh really?
Ask the DJ.
That's
He'll
what it
tell
all
you.
is.
On Claude.
Well, I think it goes back to the
It's all
days
about
of. Well, I think it goes back to the days of like, back in the day, they didn't have like station like they did, but in the early days, during the what they call the peyote days, I'm sure you guys heard about that before, where some artists would pay the DJs money to spin their records.
payola.
Payola,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Is that what I said,
Yep.
or did I say
Yep.
peyote?
A little different than peyote.
Yeah, peyote will get you high if you suck on it.
Okay. Okay, maybe maybe I worded it wrong, I guess. I'll get some
Yeah,
peyote,
right.
I guess.
But
But
look at how the music industry has changed, though, because back in the day, you went on a concert tour to promote an album, and you did occasionally get albums where you'd have 3, 4, or 5 hits on them.
sure.
Now they'll put out an album to promote a concert tour because you don't make any money selling records anymore, downloads or whatever it is. You make your money on the road because that way you can sell more merchandise, all of that stuff. The cities make the money. It's an economic impact to whatever city the tour goes through, and it's not now everybody downloads everything anyway. It's just the whole industry has changed so much. It's way different than it used to be.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. And I mean that's just the thing. But luckily, there's people that collect stuff and that love to, like I used to have a big music collection. I used to have a gigantic CD collection, and then for some reason I didn't care about it as much, and I sold it, and I shouldn't have done that. I have many regrets of doing that. I thought about rebuying
Yeah.
everything, but I got Spotify now. I got a terabyte full of over 103,000 songs on a terabyte hard drive, so I'm good. I mean, it's always going to be there, so it's like
Hey,
whatever.
someone wake Tony up. He's sleeping there.
Oh, he looks like he's taking notes, so like he's doing some homework.
About Spotify now.
Yeah. Oh, we love Spotify. I'm a Spotify whore, I tell you. And our podcast, our audio podcast, I'm constantly uploading new stuff to our Renegade Radio Spotify links. So for people that want to check that out, some old audio stuff that we've done. Because it's nice because Zoom, when you record stuff, they allow you to have the video and the audio. And I thought, well, that's just great. It's like a combined package. So
So
anyway,
when's our going on?
guests will be coming on here in a few minutes. They're just getting ready because Bart is, as we speak, when he's not on the road and not playing music, he's doing music as also a career, being a drum teacher. So he teaches kids from all over, from California and whatnot, how to play drums. So that's
Great.
what right now. Yeah, he makes good money doing it. He loves doing it. Sam, when he's not on the road, he's constantly doing stuff with music. My wife says I'm yelling. Oh, well, don't yell then. Oh, I wish I should
Can't
just.
help it.
Oh, just scream really loud. If anybody who should be screaming, it should be screaming
Can't
Sam.
help it.
He's the quiet one. He's quiet as a mouse. How's the car coming along there? There's Sam.
It's gonna be like a 5-6 year project anyway, so it don't matter.
I saw the footage that you had earlier on of Jason and whatnot.
Yeah, that's just something. It's just something I don't want to rush. You know what I mean? I'll just take my time and get it
Yeah.
right.
Dude, you found a gold
that's
mine.
nothing. Yeah, that's nothing to redo a car 5 or 6 years. I know guys that have a dozen years into some of their rebuilds.
Here's the thing: I can have it done
Easy.
by summer, but I want Jace to enjoy that with me this summer and next summer. And
Sure.
Volkswagen too, man. I always want one of them.
Well, would you even fit in one? You're a big guy. I don't know. That's
Why I wouldn't get
be like
I
a
had
cloud
one down.
car. It's like,
I had one down in Florida, and I had a tough time getting in that car.
oh,
one. Yeah, when I went to my weight loss doctor, he goes, "Which one thing you want to fit back into?" I said, "My car." My wedding dress for my suit. I'm like, I just want to get back into my car comfortably.
oh, sure. Well, I feel
You're
like
like me,
a piece of
way
cheese.
easier to get into the car than it is to get back out of the car. The hard part is getting out of the car for me.
Yeah.
Oh,
My knees are so shot. My wife drives a Toyota Camry, and I love driving the car. It's very comfortable, but it's hard for me to get back out of it because it sits so low. I drive a
I'm like-
pickup, so it's it's a lot different. I have running boards on the side of my truck, and so that's the hard part for me is getting out of the car.
Yeah, I'm having my knees in a couple months, 2 more months. Can't
Oh.
wait.
Yeah.
I had to lose 128 pounds, so I'm almost there.
So you're not having weight loss surgery, you're having knee surgery.
Yeah, I had to lose. I was 415.
So you're not
I
going
had
to be
100 and
600
some
pounds. You're not going to be on 600-pound life or whatever, and Dr. Nosler talk to you and say, oh, you need to lose weight. You come on now. You
I
shut
told
it
my
up.
doctor I don't want to lose weight. I'll just live with fatter people.
They actually told me last time I was at doctors, and I'm a candidate to get my knees done if I want it.
Oh,
But I don't think I'm not going to do it right now.
Yeah, I'm getting 3 of them done. You only have to get 2 done.
you got 3 of these?
Yeah, right knee, left
Okay,
knee. The
kick.
weak knee.
Okay, kickstand.
I got
Yeah.
the left knee, right knee. And the weak.
I
You saw
see.
that.
He say he has a small wee wee, which we don't need to go into. That's okay. It's all right. We don't need to-
Wow, I was told 3 years ago I need 2 new knees. I've had 5 knee surgeries now already, and
Yeah,
I was told 3-4 years ago I was bone on bone. So yeah, they hurt.
I was bone on bone at 40. They gave me a partial. Then I had the ACL replaced twice, the MCL, the patella. I've been opened up so many times on my stupid knees. Like it just don't even. I'm 2 inches shorter than I was when I started out. That's how much I've
Yep.
worn because my legs are bowed now.
Your
Horrible.
poor wife,
Yeah.
just shorter.
Or anything, man. Anything I walk in my shoes every day. It's just horrible. I can't live with the pain anymore. And the weed ain't helping. Nothing's helping.
All right, guys. Our first guest is coming here. Sam Morrison, the man himself. Should be exciting. There he is.
Hey.
What's going on, Sam? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, trying to figure this Zoom thing out. This is the first time I've really done this, so hopefully it's working.
Oh, you're not a Zoom pro. I thought you were a Zoom pro. I thought you get interviewed all the time, man.
Oh, dude, I just stay here in this stinking studio. Bart's the guy that does all the live broadcasts.
Oh, so you probably thought it was kind of weird that I wanted to do this, I suppose, then, huh?
Oh no, it's all good.
Okay. Well, anyway, welcome to Renegade Radio, guys. This is Sam Morrison. This is the guy that about almost 10 years ago was on a radio station that my friend Rem and I used to do called Rapid Fire Radio, and we interviewed him back in January of 2015, and then eventually we got to meet in the summer of 2015 when you guys came to Deadwood, and I'd say the rest is pretty much history, I would say.
It's something.
Yeah, it was a good time. I never forget stuff like that. It was fun. It was
Oh
fun.
yeah.
You guys were doing your turn the page stuff or your Bob Seager tribute at that time.
Oh yeah, we still are. That's kind of become our bread and butter. It's pretty much my day job now.
What's going on, Bart? How you doing, man?
What's happening, Sean? How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right,
Sorry.
man.
I apologize. I was late to the party.
Oh, that's okay. We got enough booze for you. Don't worry. It's passing around, Anyway, well, welcome to Renegade Radio, guys. I mean, this is a rare treat. Sam was just saying that he doesn't do Zoom at all. So this is kind of cool that you would say yes to doing this with me and my crew and everything.
Yeah, no worries.
Hope I wasn't too much of a bother to you guys because I feel like sometimes I can be kind of annoying when it comes to asking people sometimes, the other show. So hopefully that wasn't a problem.
No way,
I
Sean.
I promise you are no more annoying than I am. So
Oh, okay. Well, that makes me feel good anyway. Guys, this is our crew. This is Renegade Radio. We also have a lady as well, but she's not here tonight. But this is our crew for today. I'm going to let everybody go around. We'll start with Mad Dog here, and you guys can introduce yourself because you guys already know me. I don't have to introduce myself.
Hey guys, I'm Mad Dog. I used to be a professional wrestler. I just recently made it into the Pennsylvania State Hall of Fame with the likes of Bruno Sammartino and them. My day job, I was a grave digger, so I had pretty good time. But that's basically my life story.
All right, Antique
right
Man.
on.
Hi, good evening. Thanks for being on the show. I'm a singer-songwriter from 7th grade to age 71, indoctrinated into the South Dakota Rock Hall of Fame 6 years ago with the band Cocoon, and currently have 3 country rock songs playing on a Slayton, out of Minnesota on a country rock station. So it's fun. And I'm looking for a band to do those songs too.
All right, John Roberts, go right ahead.
Hey everybody, nice to meet you guys, by the way. I'm a big Southern rock fan, but John Roberts, I'm an old radio guy. I'm up northwestern Minnesota, about an hour from Canada. I'm up in Sean's neck of the woods. 40 years of radio. Now I have a video podcast company called GFBS, Grand Forks Best Source. Look us up. We do tons of different kinds of shows. I'm a racetrack announcer. I do a high school hockey play-by-play on the radio still, and just got asked by Sean a few months back if I wanted to get in on this gig, and man, I've been doing it ever since, and I'm having a blast. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
Pleasure to meet you.
And last but not certainly the least, Screaming Sam. Go ahead.
How you doing? I'm Screaming Sam. I was a tribute artist myself. I was a Sam Kinison impersonator back in the day, sponsored by the Kinison family. And this was me back in the day, guys.
That's pretty dead on.
No way. That's you, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I was an entrepreneur before that. I had a bunch of businesses. I still own a bar and a vending business, but up in Pittsburgh. I'm from Ohio, and I pretty much had an interesting life for being 65 years old. I've been around.
Around. Oh, excuse me.
And of course, I'll introduce myself, even though you guys know me. But I'm Frankie Sloss, and I'm the co-founder and host of Renegade Radio. And I'm the guy that I've always wanted to do a podcast. When I did stuff with Reb, we tried very hard, or I tried very hard to stay as sane as I could and working with the guy. And nothing against what he and I created, but it's like I wanted to take a different approach than what he wanted to do. He's more conspiracy. I'm not. I'm more entertainment, and that's always something I've always wanted to follow, throughout my life. And so years go by, and I come back to Minnesota, from living in South Dakota, and because this is kind of my home area where I'm from, and I wanted to do a podcast because, sadly enough, and I know John Roberts will quote me, but. Or he'll probably mock me a little bit because I keep saying this all the time, but I can't seem to get a job in a real radio station. So it's like I wanted to do something, be creative, and show my creative side, and do a podcast and see how that goes. And we've been doing this since the end of August of last year, and we've had some fun. Everybody that we've had on, I think I can count probably almost close to 20 guests we've had on now. And it's just continuing to grow from just a little idea. Started off with Screaming Sam and myself, and just kind of blended in with all these people that you see. All have something to do with entertainment, and that's what I wanted in a crew. People that have an entertainment background. I feel like if we could bring our worlds together and see what we can create, who knows? The world's an oyster, or whatever that saying is. Or eat your oysters. Or listen to Blue Oyster Cult. I don't know. Anyway. So we have a lot of fun, and we're honored to have you guys on, Sam and Bart. Thanks for being a part of the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
So, and Sean, my hat's off to you. I mean, starting a podcast and building your brand like that is cool because you're jumping in and doing your own thing, and you are your own best commodity. So the fact that you jumped in and you're doing it, right? You don't have to wait for somebody else to do it for you. It just shows, that's huge. That's very cool. And you got a good group of guys here, and you guys are doing your thing and spreading your word and getting it out there. So way to go, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I see that you guys were in Devil's Lake, and I had no clue that you guys were even close to the area. That's only like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive from where I had no idea that you guys
were. An hour from my place. It's like an hour and 10 minutes from my house.
Yeah, I had no clue. When did that just like spark up? Like somewhere, like you guys just come down there and did the show, and then that was it, or?
Well, no, that means you need to be watching our website, dude. You're not checking our stuff. You're not keeping up with where we're going, dude. What's up?
Because you're always going to Arizona and stuff like that. That's why I figured out. Oh, that's probably your area now. I don't know. It's always a surprise, I guess. Because I was like, that's close to home.
Did you guys go through Grand Forks, Sam, when you played Devil's Lake or not?
No, we flew in actually, and
you flew right into Devil's Lake?
Yeah, we flew right into Devil's Lake. I found out that there's only one airport there, and there's only one flight that goes in. And we caught it.
Yeah,
yeah, we caught it out of Denver, and we had quite the adventure. It was it was a time.
I'll make sure to pay more attention next time, because man, I tell you, that was a surprise to me, because I was like, boy, you guys never come up to the area, and then here you guys are. It's like, what the hell?
We go everywhere. We actually flew into Devil's Lake, did the show. It was great. We're getting ready to leave, and we went back to the airport. And we went through security and got ready to get on the plane. And the lady comes out and she goes, well, I don't think the flight's going to happen tonight. The plane is broke and the mechanic is on a hunting trip and we don't know where he is.
That's no joke, man.
Oh, wow.
God. And you had your whole band with you too, at the time, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. But, it's like
they just call that a Friday around here. That's all that was,
But
most people just go, oh, okay.
We decided right away that it's better to know the plane is broken before we get on it than after we get on it. So we weren't too upset.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea. Probably smart, But
totally.
I was but that was cool though, because you guys, you got to travel all over, but sometimes you got to do a show like in Fargo or Grand Forks, because that's even closer to home. At least for us anyway, for John Robertson.
They have way bigger airports with numerous flights.
Yeah.
Grand Forks should get treated like a VIP. I could tell
With
you that.
numerous hunters on numerous hunting trips, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
They
absolutely.
gotta over
And
put the
depending
deer
on the
next
time
to
of
you.
the year, we could take you on a hunting or fishing trip. How's that?
There you
there
go.
you go.
Yeah, and on the way home, they'll put the deer in the airplane right next to you. You know,
Yeah.
the moose,
Why
everything.
not?
Had to buy an
So
extra ticket.
Again, that's like a Tuesday thing around here.
yeah. So so Sam, what have you and Bart and the band been up to? I mean, because I know like what you guys do stuff when you're not on the road, but like what you've been up to over the last few years, I guess. It's been a while, so I mean, a lot has happened.
Well, yeah, a lot has happened. We've the Bob Seager show, like I said, has kind of become our bread and butter. We're traveling all over the country with that. I mean, going up to North Dakota wasn't too far out of the way. I mean, we head out to Florida. We got a couple shows in Indiana coming up. We got Idaho. We got Texas. We're going everywhere. So the best thing, if you guys want to see us, is just keep an eye on our Facebook page or our website, because we keep all the dates listed up there. And so the Seeger thing, that's kind of what's going on with that. It's just going better than ever. Once we did that World's Greatest Tribute Band show, it just kind of gave us the good housekeeping seal of approval for all these casinos and stuff. And so we're just gigging like crazy. It's awesome.
Do you ever make
How
your
do you
way up?
like?
One question, one person at a time, if you can. Well, let Ansley, Mad Dog, go ahead. Ask the question.
You guys ever make your way up to Pittsburgh area or Pennsylvania?
We haven't yet. I'm sure that we probably will. I know we're going to be in Cleveland coming up in May, and a couple other Ohio places. And I'm actually from Ohio. I know one of you guys said you was from Ohio also. I'm from down by Cincinnati.
I'm in Ashtabula.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, you're a Steelers fan, no doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm from Pittsburgh originally, so
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm from Cincinnati, so I'm a Bengals fan, and you know. Well, I always tell people I've got two favorite teams in football. I've got the Bengals and whoever's playing Pittsburgh. That's
Yeah, I figured that one out.
That's funny. So to inform my crew, I guess. So, how did the whole Bob Seger thing come about? Like, why him as a tribute guy? Why'd you pick to do that?
Well, we started out doing the Southern rock thing. I mean, and we did our first album with that. Our beginnings was all playing biker runs. I mean, that's pretty much where that whole thing came from. But the bikers love Bob Seger, and Turn the Page is kind of a biker anthem. So when we would go out and we would play these biker events, they'd always want us to do Turn the Page. And every time we did, they'd be like, dude, you sound just like Bob Seger. And can you play Against the Wind? Can you play Night Moves? Can you do whatever? And we learned a couple of songs to kind of get into the whole thing. But I had a buddy of mine that was in an Eagles tribute band, and he said, dude, he goes, that's where the money is, that's where everything is at. If you guys can do a tribute, it's really a good thing. And I kind of laughed it off at first. I never really imagined that being in a tribute band, I had no desire to do that, but it's actually it's become a real thing, and we really enjoy it. Seeing the fans come out and just go nuts over these songs, because again, Seeger doesn't tour anymore, so when we do it, they love it, and it's been a really good thing.
Bob
We try
Seger,
to go ahead.
my 40 years of radio, Bob Seger is one guy I never got to see, and I've seen everybody. I always wanted to see him, but one thing I have found out is a lot of the tribute bands, they sound better than the original. And I'm not saying you sound better than Bob Seger, but you know what I mean. And you probably hear that, especially when they quit touring and somebody is still playing their music. And a lot of these bands, they do. I mean, maybe it's the musicianship or whatever, but in my opinion, a lot of these tribute bands that I've seen over the years were actually better than when I saw the real band itself.
Yeah. Well, I would never say that we're ever better than Bob Seger, because we're not. Bob Seger is a badass, and he always
he's incredible.
will be.
Yeah.
But and the thing with the tribute band thing, what we discovered right away is that the key to being having that going to really work is that you've got to sound dead on. I mean, there's so many bands that do bar band versions of these songs. I mean, how many, every band in the world plays old time rock and roll.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, I
but
hate that song because of it.
I would say,
Thanks, Howard.
0.5% of the bands that play it are the only ones that are playing it right. I mean, they're all it's,
Yep.
if you do it right, it's a great song. And that's one of my favorites every time we do it, because you just see the people go nuts. And, the closer you get to the record for what they remember, when you're doing a tribute band, you're selling memories. And the closer you can sound like what they remember, the more successful you're going to be.
Do you
Same
feel like
thing with the
everybody's
tribute-
critiquing you then?
I'm sorry.
Do you feel like
Go ahead, John.
everybody's critiquing you because you're a tribute band?
You know what?
You feel
I've got,
like you have to be-
we've got some of, I've got some friends that are like, oh, well, you're in a tribute band. It's like, yeah, well, you know what, dude, I'm working. This is my day. This is my job now. I'm playing guitar. You can sit there on your high horse and your morals and your, holier than thou, whatever. And,
Sure.
be playing in your bedroom, but dude, I'm gigging. I'm making a living.
Same thing, but like when I did my tribute to Sam Kinison, you're exactly right. When you go up there, you got to be as close as possible, because these people know those artists. I mean, they knew Sam Kinison,
Right.
you know what I mean? And if you didn't pull it off like that, you were no good. I mean, but thank God I did a pretty decent job at it. But I know where you're coming from
Yeah.
about the tribute.
And the thing too is like, doing Bob Seager's been a good thing for us too, because nobody knows what his band looks like. As long as I've got a beard, we're fine. We don't have to. Like, I would hate to be in a Kiss band where you got to put on the makeup every time you got to go out and play. But for Bob Seger, we just dress up like we're in a band and just go out and do the gig, man. It's cool.
You're
And
right.
Bart-
Yeah, nobody knows what they look like. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
perfect.
And Bart, what you been up to, man? I mean, tell us your story. I know your story, but tell my crew some of your story, because it's pretty interesting.
Oh, well, I do what everything that I do is based around SMB. Um, the fact that I do all these things, it's based off of all the work that has gone into the Sam Morrison band, and I've been able to be successful in a few other areas of the music business because of that, as has Sam and all the other members of the band, I might add. But I've been teaching drums ever since I was in high school. I've been giving drum lessons, and so I've been started out teaching drum lessons. Like I said, high school buddies didn't know how to play certain rudiments, and I'd teach them. Well, now I have a pretty thriving teaching business. It depends on the week, and it depends on what we're doing. But I see between 40 and 60 students a week, and then when the band's on tour. On dark nights, I have a little practice kit that I carry around with me in the hotel room or the Airbnb, depending on where we're at. And I set it up to practice, because again, like Sam was saying, staying sharp on the songs. I'll run the set as a rehearsal to myself in the hotel room. But then in the downtime, I teach as well. And I've written a few books, and just had a new book come out recently on rhythm and stuff like that. It's called The Rhythmic Journey, and then I do other little side recording projects and stuff like that. But again, the success that I've had in any of these ventures has been like the 24 years that I've spent with Sam Morrison Band has really helped those things to flourish. I mean, that's kind of what I see as like my spearhead, if you will, is the band, and then everything else kind of falls in place around it. And I've been really, really, really fortunate. Sam called me years ago, and he goes, "Hey, my guitar player quit and my drummer quit." And he goes, "I've got a tour of Europe. It's a 2-week tour, and it's your gig if you want it." And I was like, let's go. And so I've been holding on ever since, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. And we've got, as the band sits right now, we've got a really great group of musicians. Sam and I were just talking about this the other day. It's never sounded better. We're tight. We all, go out on the road together, and 9 times out of 10, we stay in an Airbnb. Everybody has their own rooms, but we, share the common area, and we all get along And so, I mean, what more can you ask for? So that's everything that I've got going on, and very grateful for all of it.
I suppose when it comes to the like bands that'll like with you guys especially, is there a lot of you guys besides you and Sam that have stuck around for the whole time? Or I'm sure you've gone through some changes. I'm sure too. Does that ever get hard and difficult when somebody wants to quit, or if they're not that good like you thought they're going to be, or whatever? I'm sure that happens.
Yeah, we've had the crew that we have now, the guys are just second to none. Our bass player, he's been in it just a little bit shorter than I've been in the band. You know, he's been in maybe a year less, I think, than I've been in the band. And then everybody else now is long term. And yeah, whenever you change band members, it's always, it's always difficult to go through that. But it always, on the other side of it, it always ends up being for the right reasons and being better, and you shine a little bit brighter.
How do you guys practice? Do you have a room you go to practice, or you go out on like maybe the little bars around the area, or
Practice. We don't need no stinking practice.
Not at all.
Answer my question.
You're just perfect right away.
Hey, let's take that off the list. I didn't mean that one.
No. No, you know what? We do we don't have like official rehearsal things anymore, because again, doing the Bob Seager catalog, we've pretty much,
got it done.
We pretty much got it done. But he's got so many songs that just to keep ourselves from going stir crazy, we will start bringing out some of the his older B-sides and all that kind of stuff, just to keep up to it. And when we're in the Airbnb, we've all done our homework, so we've all learned the song. So if we've got another song that I want to pull out and throw at the guys, we'll just the couple of days before that show, we'll be at the Airbnb and just start running over it there at the house, and then we just go up and do it. But yeah, I mean, as far as like getting together with an official rehearsal, we haven't done that in a while since COVID happened. We just really never really got to do that. And doing the original stuff, I mean, that's part of the what we need to do the rehearsals and that kind of stuff for. But again, when COVID happened, we couldn't do it. So the album we recorded at that time, it was I'd do my parts, send it to Bart, he'd do his parts, send it to the bass player, send it to the next guitar player. And we just kind of did it that way. And that's kind of how the rehearsals have been.
What I've been pretty much impressed with is the fact that for like the Sam Morrison band part of it, lately or for a while there, you've been coming up with some of these great ideas for songs, and like I remember when you did the Kiss, well, it wasn't a cover, but it was like in the style of Kiss or in the style of CCR. What creative juices helped you flow for that? I mean, like to get these ideas and say, let's try something here. Let's try a style and let's see if it'll work.
Well, one of the things that we also do is like, we've got songs that have been in film and TV and that sort of thing. And getting sync licenses for songs is, that's a big thing for bands now, because, you're not really played on the radio much anymore, CD sales crap. So you want to try to get your songs on TV. And we get these listings that these companies send out saying, okay, there's a TV show, they need a song that sounds like AC/DC. They can't afford to hire AC/DC or to use their song, so they want a song that sounds like that. Or we need a song that sounds like CCR. We need a song that sounds like whatever. So I just kind of got the idea that, since we're doing these things, let's just write songs that, that sound like it would be, that band. I mean, Bart came, I told Bart, I said, they need something that sounds like AC/DC. And he had this song that he had written a long time ago that was a real life story that happened with him. He can tell that if he wants to. So he brings it to me, and I put this AC/DC music to it that sounds, it's not, it's not ripping off AC/DC in any manner, but we just took their entire style and their arrangement and made it sound like it came off an AC/DC album. Well, it was a cool thing. So we did it. We sent it back to the company, and they said, okay, well, we can't use this because it sounds too much like AC/DC.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Wait, what?
I
That's
thought
what you
that's
get
what you
at.
wanted.
Yeah. No, they want
But-
you dressed up like Angus Young and wear the whole school outfit and everything. They want you.
Yeah.
No.
Well, they just wanted to be in the background, to create a party scene or whatever. But we kind of went through a thing with that where we were, I called that whole project Under the Influence. And we did songs that were influenced by other bands. We did a song that sounded like Kiss. We did of
Blues
course, a Bob
Brothers.
Seager song. We did a Blues Brothers tune. We did CCR tune.
Doobie Brothers.
Yeah, we did a Doobie Brothers.
Doobie Brothers type of tune. Yeah.
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 But yeah,
It was fun. It was fun because
was cool.
if you think about it, you can take, any song that you want, like let just pick a song and you go, okay, we're going to cover this tune. You learn the song. Well, let's do that song, but let's make it sound like these guys doing it. It really does get your creative thing going, because, well, what would it sound like if, AC/DC did an Air Supply tune, or something, it's a silly thing, but I mean, you have to really think it through, and you have to really, make it happen. And so we did that with original music, and it was fun. That was a real fun project. I ran into a guy at a drum clinic the other day, and he had heard a bunch of the tunes, and he was a big fan of it. And I had kind of, we had done that quite a while ago, and he was listening to it, and he goes, this one song, man, I just couldn't believe that nobody got it, that it was, and Sam had put this out years ago. Hey, guess who this is in the style of this? And it was the Blues Brothers tune, Sam. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And nobody was guessing the Blues Brothers. So we were like, look at the artwork, it's the Blues Brothers. And I remember, and he said, he goes, man, I couldn't believe that nobody was getting that, that it was the Blues Brothers.
Oh, wow.
Well, again, they want to see you dress up in suits and all that, doing the Blues Brothers dance and everything. That's what they want. No, I was going to say, like, Sam, you remember when you helped me with the documentary for the Renegade documentary? I mean, it didn't really go anywhere or whatever, but it's like we put it together and we use your music. And I gotta say, when I asked you to do a song for me, you really hit it out of the park, because that's exactly what I was looking for. Something that sounds like Sons of Anarchy, and you nailed it. It took you a little bit because I know you were busy with other things, but you did it, man. I still have that saved.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it really helped. And then you let us use your songs, and I feel like I should have had to pay you back, for that, because man, I tell you, it's like,
well, the way the business is now, you would have to pay me. So
oh, great.
that's what a sync license is. That's what I'm learning. See?
Oh, okay.
Every time we get on the road, he's like, man, that Frankie guy, he still owes me money, man. I'm joking.
If I ever see him again,
Dude,
I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
It was totally my pleasure. I've given our songs to projects through the years where the people call up and say, hey man, I'm doing this documentary, or I'm doing this thing, and can I use your songs? Like, yeah, sure, go ahead. But if you're on like network TV, no, then you're gonna have to pay me for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I understand. Antique Man, you've been pretty quiet. Do you have any questions for Sam or Bart?
Well, I've just been enjoying the entire interview, because a lot of what you fellas do, I relate to on a little bit smaller scale. But I do have a question for you. You're coming to Texas?
Yes.
Yeah, we are.
Dallas or Fort Worth? You remember where?
Fredericksburg.
In a little town called Granbury, with a G, not a C, Granbury. They have a converted old theater there, and they do a lot of tribute bands. We go about every 3 weeks. If you're interested, I could probably get the name of it and all. But they do a lot of tribute bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Send it to me. Well, we're gonna be playing at the Rock Box there in Fredericksburg.
Okay.
It's kind of the wine country outside of Austin up there. But yeah, I mean, anytime I get a line on a good gig, and you were saying something about your songs too. Send me your songs. Let me check them out. I'd love to hear them.
Well, thank you. There's one or two I think you would fit you very well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, see, Antiques Man's been a musician for a long time, like you said, and he always comes up with some quirky songs, and he does a lot of covers too, like just like randomly just on Facebook Live and whatever. And he does you know, he might not be much to look at, but he has a beautiful voice. Like, no, he's good. He's all right. He's all right. He's all right. I just have
Okay,
to.
one side comment. I'm 71. Most guys live to 75. Most women live to 82. I've been thinking about transisting.
Transisting.
Transisting. That's
Yeah, are you a
shocking.
radio now? Or
Whatever
what?
the fucking word is.
How about Mad Dog? You got any questions for
Hey,
Bart?
hey, Antique Man, you might want to watch out. A couple guys on this panel might date you.
Yikes.
Wow, thanks. Mad Dog, you got any questions for Sam or Bart?
No, I'm enjoying listening to it. I'm on the you know, the wrestling or stuff like that. These guys are music guys. Let's go, man. I'm interested in all that. I love Bob Seager.
Oh.
That was my favorite guy. I seen him in Pittsburgh when he came, I guess in the '80s. But yeah, I love Bob Seager, man. I didn't know you did that.
Oh yeah, it's a fun show. I kind of dig your backdrop there too, by the way, bro.
Yeah, I've been changing it. I've been changing all your. I actually listened to all your music today while I was trying to do some research on you, because I like doing research on, you know, people. But I let the music go with the music guys. Last week we had a guy on about wrestling. That was my time to shine. You know.
There you go.
Yeah, well, we have another wrestling guy come on in a couple years. But yeah, I mean, you know, and that's what I mean, man. I mean, you know, Sam and Bart, you know, that's what I love about being on Renegade Radio. This podcast has really helped me really show my creative side, as well as allowed all these other guys and the gal that we normally have on to be creative too, and to get a chance to do something they probably wouldn't have normally ever done.
Hey.
You know, so I love it. I just love being a part of pop culture and entertainment, and you know, and you guys, you know, being as musicians for as long as you have, you just seem to always keep knocking stuff out of the park. Are you working on any new albums or anything in the future?
Well, funny you should ask.
I just figured I'd ask.
Oh, it's weird the way that the music business is anymore. It's like nobody really makes albums anymore. And what we found out that, you know, it's I don't know, it's a weird thing. But we're doing a lot of singles that we've been putting out, and you know, we're releasing those up on Spotify. And we've got one that is going to be coming out this Friday, believe it or not.
Oh wow.
Great.
Yeah.
Is it called Renegade Radio at all? No.
It's not. Actually, it's called Gunslinger.
Oh, well, that's close enough.
That's kind of in the same ballpark.
Song for my wrestling. I'm looking for a wrestling entry song for my wrestling. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, that'd be kind of a quirky request. Have you ever been asked to ever do that, to do a wrestling theme song?
I haven't, but you know, we can do it. It's not a thing.
So when it comes to creating the idea, then when something comes up in your mind or whatever that you just want to try, how long is the process? I suppose it varies from tune to tune. I suppose from starting the idea to finalizing it.
For me, it takes a while. When I get an idea, you know, sometimes the guys get aggravated. It's like, come on, dude, get the song done, get the song done. But it just takes a while to brew till I get it ready. This one that we're doing now, Walt came up with this really cool piano thing that he sent me, and I've been sitting on it probably for about a year and a half. But we recorded it up and we got it going, but I just couldn't figure out what it was about. It's like the words were killing me. And I'm a huge Stephen King fan. I don't know if you guys are into Stephen King at all.
Yeah, you just said you read those books or whatever. I've seen your post or whatever about that.
Oh yeah. Well, the backdrop back there too. That's kind of leading up to where we're going. Well, Stephen King has got this series of books called The Dark Tower. And the gunslinger is like the main guy in the Dark Tower, and so as I was sitting there working on this song, I had it all written. I thought, okay, well, this is going to be it. This is going to be good. And then it was like, no, it just doesn't work. And then I started reading The Dark Tower, and I'm like, oh, dude, this is a Dark Tower song. So it's going to be unlike anything that we've ever done. It's kind of an epic meatloaf Western.
Dude, that's exactly the way that I think about it, Sam. Like, I
Yeah,
listened to it again this morning and I was like, if Meatloaf did a John Wayne movie, this would
right.
be the song for it, dude.
That's it. That's
Totally,
it.
Would it be
completely,
like a
completely.
musical then, like a Meatloaf or a Queen?
Kind of like the
Opera?
road movie, kind of.
It's an epic kind of a song like that. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a Southern rock tune. It's not like anything that we've really ever done before. And it's I don't know. Some people are going to listen to it and go, "What the hell is that?" But if you're a hardcore Stephen King fanatic, like Bart's sister is hardcore Stephen King. When
Big
I played
time.
this song for her, she lost it. She's like, "Oh my God." So, the people that get it are going to really get it. And the people that don't get it are going to go, yeah.
Right, right. How many
Is this where,
pieces?
oh, go ahead there, John.
How many pieces are in your band when you're touring?
There's 6 of us.
So is this where Sam Morrison Band goes a little synthy? No, give us a little 80s synth or whatever.
Oh, no. It's
No,
not,
no, no, no,
it's
no.
not synth at all. You got to think like it's like I said, Clint Eastwood, Meatloaf,
Okay.
kind
Good.
of a spaghetti
gotta-
Western rock
can't-
opera.
Can
Okay.
you play a little hint of it for us? Can you play a little bit for us?
Well, it's going to be out Friday. You guys will hear it
Okay,
Friday.
okay,
And you know
we'll
what?
wait
Nobody
Friday.
knows it's coming out. Nobody goes. That backdrop that you've got there, I put that out as kind of a clue. I didn't say anything about it to anybody. I just put that up. And now you guys get it. That's the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I've been kind of like hanging out on the Stephen King Reddit sites
See if
and
I can
kind of
get
been
out.
like poking around in there. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
kind of poking around in there. So when this song comes out, I'm going to post it up on the Stephen King sites. It's either they're either going to blow it up or they're going to like crucify me for what I did. but that's art though. That's art, right?
Yeah.
I think
Totally.
it's cool as hell, and I'm super stoked about it. And I just
I can't wait, man. Can't
I
wait.
finished the final tweaks on it actually just about an hour before I got on here with you guys. Bart's
Oh.
not even heard the final
Yeah,
copy.
I haven't heard
yet.
the final. The one that I heard was when you sent it out, what, Friday or something like that?
Yeah,
You sent it to me on Friday, and it sounded good then. I mean, you
Yeah.
were pretty close on it.
it's better now, and I wanted to hurry up and get it done because I wanted to announce it on your show that it's coming out this Friday. So I got it
wow.
loaded up, and
All
this Friday it should be on Spotify.
That's great. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Renegade Radio.
That's
There you
right.
go.
I was gonna
There
say,
you go.
speaking of like original material, the last time I had interviewed Bart, we were talking about the song that he was promoting at the time, or it was more like an ode to America. Do you still remember? Do you still use that at all, or still remember words at all?
My Proud American Heart. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a piece of poetry that I wrote a number of years ago, and I had this whole thing going in my mind of what I wanted it to be, and it wasn't necessarily a song because it was way too long, and it was a poem, and it was just about, and again back to what I said earlier when I was talking about SMB. I've gone on vacations and traveled a lot, but I owe a lot to this band because Sam and I have been places, man. We've been to active war zones, and I've spent a lot of my life traveling with this band. I've just logged thousands and thousands of hours, and across the United States. I remember actually when we came out of the show in South Dakota, just how beautiful it was and how pretty it is coming out of there and going across. We were going from South Dakota into Denver to a show and driving across the plains in Wyoming and stuff. And that's kind of when the whole juices started flowing on the thing and putting this poem together about America and different places and things that I had seen. And I had seen them because I was in in the band. I got to see all this stuff because, it's through the windshield of a tour bus or what have you. And it's just been beautiful. And so so that's where I wrote it. And yeah, it's up on YouTube, and it's been submitted for sync licensing as well, like Sam was talking about and stuff like that. And you were playing
awesome.
you were playing it on your show for a little while, weren't you?
Oh, yeah, because Reb wanted to do a patriotic kind of radio station. Well, I didn't know that he wanted to do conspiracy stuff. I just kind of went along with that after a while, but then we kind of had a falling out, a few years later, and it just kind of never was. Rapid Fire Radio still exists. It's still a thing,
Cool.
but it's like, it hasn't gotten. When I left and came back to Minnesota, it's never been the same. I was the one that brought all the guests. I was the one that did pretty much almost all the work, and he just kind of, took the credit for whatever I did, and it's just kind of a lot of bullshit. But it was fun though, and I remember that time when things were going good, that it was a fun time because we got to be introduced to you guys and as well as a lot of other people, and we had Williams and Ree, those guys came to our house and did a interview and everything, and it just like in person, and opened up a lot of doors. But Reb just he's a hard ass sometimes. He just doesn't understand. Sometimes we butt heads creatively, and it just wasn't working. So it was just time to leave, and then I came back to Minnesota and
creative butting heads and in a creative thing. Well, that's weird.
Well,
welcome to the entertainment business, my friend.
But
Put on your gloves and start swinging and ducking, man.
It was just a lot of he was just trying to make it seem like he wanted credit for all my hard work, and I just like, dude, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have a radio station. So but whatever, that's here or there. I'm not here to throw him under the bus, but doing this and stuff, and then when COVID happened, I was going to go back to South Dakota. I had an opportunity to, but then COVID happened, and it kind of fucked up everything, like it did everybody else. So for all you guys' plans and stuff, so I just figured, well, eventually an opportunity will come, and then, like I said, this podcast was something I wanted to do, and it's been going strong, and we're just honored that you guys made an appearance on the show, and we're proud to be the first to hear about the song and everything, and I hope it goes well for you, because I'm sure you pay attention to how your songs do. I'm sure. You wouldn't be a musician if you didn't care at all.
Yeah, back in the day, guys, I used to have my own internet TV show back in the day called the Screaming Sam Show. And we had like an internet radio show, and we actually made the newspapers. We made Fox News, because we were like one of the first ones to do the internet TV show, but we did all porn stars and strippers. This is all new to me. This is like Ron Jeremy was my friend, you know what I mean? And yeah, so this was new to me when he asked me to do this show. I'm like, well, it's a little bit different than what I used to do. I used to spank him in the ass with a paddle, and on the show, TV shows, and the interviews on the radio part was pretty. I listened to them till today. If you Google Screaming Sam podcast, you can listen to some of my stuff. But man, I tell you what, I sit there and think, man, did I really say that shit? Did I really do that stuff? I mean, it drives me up crazy.
And still stay married.
Yeah, you can look up, Screaming Sam and Fox News, and have a 3-minute segment on me, which was really back in the day was a lot. I mean, it was a big time thing for me. But I've been on a lot of TV shows and everything. But yeah, if you Google Screaming Sam podcast, you'll see what kind of stuff I used to be into.
Oh,
but this is different for me to have bands and actors and not necessarily have like a lot of patons on your fucking show. You know what I mean? I'll like interview them.
I got a question for you guys. Bart, you're talking about being on the tour bus going across the Midwest through Wyoming, whatever. But I want to know, Bart and Sam, do you guys have significant others? And if you have, for how long? And they knew they were getting into what they're getting into? Do they go on the road with you? How does that work? Is it a nice, break to get away for a week, or tell me about that? Because there's always a story behind the story.
Well,
This is true.
He ain't answering. I
Sam,
wonder what's
shoot.
wrong.
I'll go first. Yeah, I've been married to my wife Cindy. We're going on our 25th year. It'll be in July, and
Nice.
she's the most amazing woman. I can't even believe how awesome she really truly is. Uh, back before I really started doing the band in a serious way, just a stupid job working for the city, and I hated it, and it was driving me nuts. And I called her one day at lunchtime and told her, I said, no, these people, I'm going out of my mind over here. And she says, if you was to quit that job and start playing music full time, could we make it? And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to quit that job. I've been here forever. And she's like, no, I'm asking you right now. And I said, well, I, she's like, okay, look, I want you to go up to your boss right now and quit your job. Don't come home
Wow.
unless you quit your job, because I don't want to deal with you when you're 80 years old saying woulda, coulda, shoulda, anything. And that
Smart
day
woman.
I quit my job, and she knew exactly what she was getting into. And she stood by me this entire time. And I've
good.
got a song on our last album. It's called My Reason. And that's kind of what I call her. I said, you're my reason. And she's just absolutely
That's
amazing.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
As far as her coming on the
boys,
road with
story
us,
behind the
as far as
story.
her, yeah, as far as her coming on the road with us, she's seen my act and she's not impressed anymore. So
No, I mean, hey, it happens, and the thing about it is like, it's nice that she went along with it, because if that would ever happen, who knows? You probably wouldn't realize how talented you really are and everything. So,
well, I couldn't have done any
What
of
about you, Bart?
What about Bart?
Yeah, yeah. I've been married to the same woman for 24 years, and I always say that we're coming up on 25 too in September, and most definitely she should get 3 or 4 awards for putting up with me. She's put up with me and been with me when she shouldn't be, when she should just fairly clearly have said, see ya, dude. But she didn't, and she stood by me. In the last 5 years, I've made some huge, significant changes in my life. I quit drinking, for one. That's one of them.
Good to hear.
And we sold our house of 21 years out in Fullerton and moved to a town called Ontario. On one side of the street it's Ontario, one side of the street it's Eastvale. And if you're from Southern California, you tell somebody you moved to Ontario, they think you moved to Mars, but it's like a 30-minute drive. It's not that far, and we enjoy living out here, and built this studio that I'm in right now. This is my recording studio and my teaching studio, and yeah, she stands behind me 100%, and it's been well worth every ounce of energy that I've put into it.
Yeah, my wife used to be mad at me when I spanked the girls in the ass with my hands. So I had to get this.
That'll do it. Trust me. That'll do the trick every time. That'll do the trick.
My wife used to
every
get
time.
upset when I come home with sweaty wrestling boobs all over me. You know what I mean?
No.
It's a group, I tell you, that's for sure. Well, guys, I appreciate
Sorry to
the
bring it
time.
up, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
No worries. Hey, can I throw one thing out there real quick before we sign
Yes.
out that I want to say about being in a band that has this longevity like this. Sam's we've talked about the tribute show and our original show and everything that we've done, and I've seen it from, you were talking about the story behind the story. Well, I've been watching the backside of that dude for 24 years, all over the place, to coin the phrase of Waylon Jennings, and I've had the best seat in the house, and I myself personally, I'm very honored to be in the band with such great talent and such amazing musicians. And, Sam really is the guy that spearheads the whole thing. Leadership is everything. If you don't have good leadership, if you don't have somebody that has a vision of, hey, this is what we want to do and this is what we're doing it. If you don't have somebody like that at the helm, you're already sunk. And so for all these years, I've been watching him spearhead this band, and it's been a pleasure to be in it. It's been a pleasure to be
Wow,
part of all the
that's awesome.
musicians. And I have to say this, and I'm not breaking the band, breaking my arm, patting the band on the back, but in a day and age where you go see concerts and there's, 4 guys or 5 guys on stage, or 4 girls, whatever, on stage playing, and there's like a wall of sound and horns and vocals, everybody's playing to computer tracks. Everything, when you come see the Sam Morrison band play, those microphones are on and we're playing, and playing with Sam and playing with those guys has just been, it's my Beatles. Yeah, so
There you go.
I love every second of it. So
Well, we appreciate having
you
you guys
guys
on.
are great. You guys are great, man.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you
And you
both.
talk about a lot of those bands, half of these guys, the only time they see each other anymore is when they're on stage. They don't hang
Oh,
out
yeah.
together. They're, the biggest breakup in bands are personality conflicts, and which
Mhm.
there's always going to be. But the longevity that you guys have, that's pretty rare stuff.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that, and you are right, thank you for that, but you are right. I mean, we've all heard a million stories of the guys that, okay, it's time to go on stage because I hear the guy up there making elephant noises with his guitars, or something, and then they go up, they do the show, and then they get on their planes and go home, and we don't have airplanes to go home in, but when we were up there in North Dakota, we got stuck for that extra night, like Sam was telling you. And we all got back to the hotel, and, well, let's go get something to eat, and we hang out. We're friends, and yeah, I mean, you have to be that. If you
Means
don't,
a
you're
lot.
just the world is full of bitter musicians. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
be thankful that you're on that stage playing. Be thankful that you're on an airplane that goes to North Dakota, takes you to a gig. Be thankful for that, because it doesn't happen for everybody.
That's right. That's right. Well, I don't want to take up any more of you guys' time, but for anybody
Awesome, guys.
more about you guys,
Thank you.
how could they do that, Sam?
We're all over the internet. SamMorrisonBand.com will get you our Southern rock stuff. Turn the Page online will get you to our Bob Seager website.
Wow.
That's my dog in the back screaming. And on Facebook, I mean, we've got this Facebook.com/Sam Morrison Band, Facebook.com/Turn the Page.
Okay.
But yeah, we're there. And we're on TikTok and Instagram. Just anywhere you type in Sam Morrison Band, we'll pop up something.
Yeah, I just looked up Google. Everything's you, Sam Morrison.
Oh yeah, yeah. I even started doing TikTok now.
That's good.
I got a TikTok account. You gotta watch it. All my
Oh, there
wrestling.
you go. All right, send me a thing.
Well, we appreciate having you guys on, and for all of you guys out there watching, this has been a Renegade Radio episode number 5 of season 2, and we want to thank our guests Sam Morrison and Bart Robley of the Sam Morrison Band coming on and saying hello again, and it's been fun. Having
Thanks,
you.
it's been real fun.
And next
Awesome.
week we'll have Early Times from Satellite Radio from Sirius XM's Bluesville and Michael Delaney from Delaney Guitars. So you want to check that
Oh, right on.
next week.
Cool.
So you might know the guy, huh?
Very cool. Very
We
cool.
can't wait till Friday to hear your new song, guys.
Yes.
All right,
yeah.
check it out. Check it out.
All
Me
right.
too. I want to hear the darn thing, man. I haven't even heard. Come on.
Until then, this is Frankie Slauson along with Antique Man, Mad
Thank you.
Dog,
Bye-bye.
Sam, and John Roberts. And we'll see you next week for another
All
edition
right.
of Renegade Radio.
See
Bye-bye.
you guys.
I want to hear them.
All right. Bye.